Hey, I'm Amber Robinson, and I'm an instructor in the math department at Mississippi State. I would say that overall, my view of technology in the classroom is positive. I find that students respond better when teachers are teaching using technology, such as I now use an iPad to teach, and it's super helpful because once I work my notes on my iPad, I can immediately export it to a PDF and post it for the students to view. I also really like technology because in my calculus classes, I'm able to use some visual things, especially for concepts such as volumes and areas between curves. I can pull up some three-dimensional objects and kind of show them how it works in 3 dimensions, and it kind of helps them visualize what exactly is happening rather than just on a piece of paper.
The person who I interviewed was the teacher I observed while working at the partnership school, and she preferred to give her response as a written response. She says that in my district, our students are one-on-one with their devices. K to 7 grades must have their devices at school, while 8 to 12 grades are allowed to take their devices home. Within the classroom at the partnership, each classroom is equipped with Apple TVs, and each teacher has a laptop as well as an iPad that the district issued. This year we have had not any major issues with technology being down or not having access to the internet.
I think that technology or education with technology is both, it serves kind of both ineffective and effective. The effectiveness is the fact that each student is in, our society is made up of things that are technologically advanced, and each student needs to know how to work with that, and the job force is going to require them to understand we're pretty much run by computers, we're run by smartphones, we're run by all these devices. The other side of it is that in many rural schools there is not like a great access to resources, or the internet will go down whenever something happens, and we're not always teaching our students problem solving skills, and that's a big issue. So if the computer goes out, one generation, which is old people like me, I try to figure out what's going on with the computer. If it goes out with this generation, they just say it doesn't work, and they don't try to make anything right or try to solve any kind of issues. I think that we need to target and focus on more social skills, because when students are actually always looking at a screen and their only interaction is with the screen, their social skills lack. So I think it has a negative impact on social skills.
So I observe at a high school in the area, and they all have Chromebooks and laptops that they use. The teacher that I observe does like a hybrid type thing where she does a lot on the computer and a lot on paper, which I think is kind of interesting because it gives them like an actual picture of what they're doing and how they can manipulate what they're doing, like via screen. Especially in math, like you have to see the shapes and what they're doing, so it's really easy for them to understand. So the negatives that I see with technology in the classroom is that a lot of students aren't paying attention. They're on Spotify with their headphones in, or they're on their phones, and they can kind of get away with it because they're using technology to complete their work. So I do see why she does kind of like a hybrid style where they don't complete assignments via laptop, they do it on paper, but they do use technology to learn instruction.
So I interviewed a student about her experience with technology in college. Her name is Aviana Smith, and she's a senior. She's a major in psychology. And she first attended Northeast Mississippi Community College, and she stated that before transferring here, there she had her iPad and was mandated it was needed for class instruction. If she did not bring it, she was marked as absent for the day. She stated, coming here, I have adapted more to technology for class instruction, even though I bought a MacBook for summer 2021 and even got a new iPad this past Christmas. Using technology can have many benefits. As a student, it can be more engaging. On the other hand, technology can also be distracting for students in instructional time, because there are so many other things that can be done or worked on. Coming from a specific standpoint, technology is not the best way of implementation of instructions. According to psychology, writing things down has a greater impact on learning and processing. I find my balance in this with downloading my notes on my iPad and using my pen to write and highlight in extra notes. That helps me understand and grasp various concepts.
There are many prevalent issues connected to technology in school. These can be evaluated when deciding how to implement technology within different areas of the school and grades, and how it will play towards their assignments and learning. Some of the prevalent issues that we have researched are technology and weight, technology with ADHD students, social skills, professional training, assignments and learning with technology, screen time effects, school budget, and traditional versus modern technology, and how these can be applied towards future use with technology in schools. Each of us researched how these can contribute to the issue of technology in schools today.
So I'm here to talk about technology in the classroom and for assignments. So first we'll start about the pros. The pros would be it keeps the students engaged, and since today's world we're ran by technology and technology is evolving all the time, students will be more excited to use technology opposed to the old-fashioned books and paper. And it keeps them engaged as well. Another one would be to prepare them for the future. The kids today are now the future of tomorrow, and so like I said at first, technology is evolving, so providing them with the technology in class will help them for the future. It also accommodates their learning style because everybody does not learn the same. There are different various of learning styles, and using technology, it accommodates all of them all together. Now I'm going to talk about the cons of the technology. The first one would be distractions. Since nowadays you get in class, you get bored, well now you have Google, so you can use Google at your advantage. It can also be a distraction to the classroom. It also removes socialization. Instead of asking your peers if you need help or asking them opinions on something, you go straight to Google or any type of research engine. It can also discourage creativity as well. Another con would be cheating. Cheating can be a big thing when it comes to using the internet. Another one would be inequality access to technology or the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi can be troubling at times. If an area does not have Wi-Fi or have the best Wi-Fi, it could become a barrier when it comes to using technology in education.
Teaching with technology isn't anything new, but the ways of technology do change from year to year. It could be an educational movie shown on a television. It could be a classroom having smart boards for interactive problem solving. And more recently, it has become tablets and laptops that are given to the children for the entire school year. There is an argument that children get too distracted with this much technology at their fingertips at all hours of the day in and out of school, but there is improvement with how children learn with these new technological advancements. In a GCU article, it states many students who receive special education can benefit from technology that helps them write, spell, read, and do mathematical computation. This helps ensure that everyone is able to learn on the same level and to make sure students feel capable. While positive counterclaims can be made against the argument of technology in the classroom, it doesn't eliminate all negative possibilities, one of the biggest being the way students learn social skills. Constantly being surrounded by technology could impair how young people see the world. In an Education Week article, a source says their digital lives, too, are fused with their offline lives in a way that is foreign to many adults.
The point I talked about was the links between technology and obesity. Obviously, there's a link between the amount of technology that one consumes, a student consumes, and the increased risk of having obesity. There's obviously increased eating while using screens, possibly due to the foods that they're consuming. So there's a range of different issues, physical activity, the advertisements that they're being exposed to, and the sleep and nutrition.
Screen time can lead to increased or decreased participation in activities. In an article, we found that passive educational and social screen time has led to a positive correlation with participation in activities outside of the classroom. Educational screen time may expose children to more hobbies or activities that they are interested in, which leads them to more participation in this. Although screen time has a downfall, as Keelan observed with obesity, and lack of participation, screen time within the classroom has more positively led in research to a participation in homework activities and other activities outside, with being able to understand the use of technology properly within the classroom. Funding from the school and district towards technology within schools is a very big issue today. Research has found that many families and even the government provided a substantial amount of money for equipment and the things needed for technology within education. A recent study has found that over $3 billion is funded towards the E-rate program, which is in place to provide discounts for technology and equipment within the schools. Many articles argue that technology within the school budget is one of the thorniest issues that schools face today. The budget item that is arguably the most critical today is professional development. Inadequate training of the staff will not allow school districts to reach their goal towards technology within education, and the students will not be able to properly use this technology if the teachers are not professionally trained. This means that whenever considering a proper school budget, one must consider the cost of equipment, replacements, Wi-Fi, and professional development, and many more in order to reach their technologies within the school. And this is a very big issue in many underdeveloped schools today.
First, what I will begin was ADHD student. As myself, I am diagnosed with ADHD. And what I have chosen and what I feel as the students from finding these researches was that if taking medication, it can slow down the hyperness activity and gain control of the student, of their concentration, not only through observing and learning with eye contact, but also in technology. Secondly, with traditional versus modern technology, and what I have found was also being an observer throughout Starkville High School of these 3 months, and it's a versus of both of them, where there are students who observe with eye connection with their teacher and from audio, but there's also on the other half of students who uses laptops, and it causes a distraction to these students where they are not paying attention nor observing or all of this.
Overall, I think that technology is good. In my opinion, with my past experience, it has helped me within my major as well, opposed to using the old school, the books and papers, because it did not help me as much, especially going through K through 12. But now that I'm in college and I have the access to technology and to use them in the classroom, it has been very beneficial.
Overall, I think with the right attitude coming from the teacher so that they know how to have control of their classroom while working with these new additions, learning with technology is a great idea and can go much farther in the future, especially when considering students with disabilities, physical or not. Sometimes technology can help specific people or groups learn so that they wouldn't have to be isolated in a different classroom being taught with a different method. While there are rightful concerns, with research and studies in the years to come, technology could become a staple in the classroom.
My overall opinion about technology being added into the education field is I really do not like the idea, even though it is necessary, and it will stay. But the reason I say this is because in tribal schools in Choctaw language, it means ala muma ikana. In English, it means all children can learn. And with that, throughout the knowledge of what we are engaging inside of a classroom and taking it on the outside world will take us long ways than participating on a computer or a screen that is distracting us and not engaging with a face-to-face individual.
In terms of my own opinions on how technology impacts education, while I was observing the middle school at Mississippi, the partnership school, I was able to see both the positives and negatives that are associated with using technology within education. The teacher would use the iPads to display onto the TV what they would do in terms of working out certain questions, whether it was maths, English, or literature. They were able to show the students specific parts on how to solve certain problems, which I thought was extremely beneficial and was obviously different to what I experienced when I was at school when they just used a whiteboard. So that was probably the biggest advantage, and the obvious disadvantage was the distractions in terms of technology.
Overall, I believe that technology can be more beneficial than detrimental in the classroom. I think that if it's implemented within the right ways in the classroom, there's correct training and there's an equal balance of assignments online and offline, that students can learn more from the use of technology and apply this to their future use within college or their career or any further thing, because technology is a prevalent thing in our world today. So overall, I think that while there are downfalls to certain areas with technology in the classroom, I think that with the proper management that it can be very beneficial for students today.